Hello everyone, how's it going, folks?
It's Sam and Nonny.
It's Sam and Nonny, back again.
For the third time.
Yeah, Sam, I'm just going to turn this fan off. Yeah, I've got headphones.
Yeah, I don't have headphones. I'm looking around for headphones, but I'll just go without. I can survive.
I should have brought you some, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay, I forgive you.
This is a recent development for me.
Yeah, this whole place is different than the last few times I've been here.
So, what's the spot the difference?
There's no cowboy hats in the room this time, which is quite disappointing. I really enjoyed that.
You would have brought yours from home.
Yeah, because the first time I came here, we agreed we'd wear cowboy hats, and I forgot. So I thought, this time I'll make it up to Nonny, and either I'll bring one, or there'll be one there. And I thought, there'll be one there, so I won't bring one. So I'm still sort of indebted to you for one sort of cowboy occasion.
Oh,
yeah. But it's not my fault this time. I prepare.
You can buy me a drink at the bar after.
Yeah, that'll be fine.
Yeah.
I'm happy with that.
Alright.
Good deal.
And then what are the other differences?
It's just a bit tidier. It smells, no offense, a bit less like sweat, which I quite like.
It is nicer.
It feels more professional in a way that I'm not sure I like. I like the cowboy hats. There's a certain vibe of like a sweaty cowboy hat radio station that's very good. I mean, you've still got
the shindig. What's it?
The Scallywag Shindig. We were talking about putting on an open mic called the Scallywag Shindig. But you've still got all the cool stickers here, so it's still quite nice. And there's sort of half-finished puzzles and newspaper about the room, which is very, very good vibes.
This is nice having a little visual description of the studio for the listeners.
It's like ASMR, but very descriptive. But when I do it, it's called SAMR because my name's Sam. To those who don't know me,
it's called SAMR.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I guess.
I don't know what the R stands for. It's a silent R. Yeah.
Yeah, Samurai.
Yeah. Short for samurai.
Samurai. Yeah.
Shall we introduce the first song?
Yeah, we can go straight into the first song.
It's been so long, but
the
first song is a song by the band Harley Poe. It's called "I Wanna Die." It's from the album Lost and Losing It, which is one of my favourite albums, which isn't to say it's one of the albums I think is best. It's just an album that when I listened to it, I really connected to it and I really liked it. And the songs are quite simple. I think this one's in just C and it's very simple, but I love it and I've learned how to play it, but like the backing vocals I feel are some of the best bits to it. So unless I can recreate the whole experience, I don't want to sort of do it a disservice, but I really like this album in particular.
Wait, what are the backing? I guess you'll
hear it. Yeah.
Okay, let's just play
it. That's what I didn't say.
I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I've done. I don't know what I'm thinking. But I wanna have fun. I wanna get fucked up till the hurt goes away. But I always feel like shit when I wake up the next day. Maybe I'll stay home and get on my knees and pray. But it always seems like God has nothing to say. I wonder why. I wonder why. I wonder why. I wonder why. Why do I feel so guilty for being myself? Why did she have to leave me? Go fuck someone else. I cleaned up my act and I done it alone. I always look for signs that she's coming home. Can I change your fate or is the future in stone? Seems like all I ever do is cry and moan. I wanna die. I wanna die. I wanna die. I wanna die. I don't know what life may have in store. I should just shut my mouth and be thankful, but I always want more. Do I hope and have faith I'll make it through the night? Do I lay in bed all day or do I get up and fight? Waking up without my family, well it just ain't right to me. Ain't right to me. That ain't the way it's supposed to be. Baby, why can't she see? Sweet angel, I loved you all my fucking life. I Thought we'd grow old with you as my wife, and I can't even remember why you had to go. I wish I could see inside you, but I'll never know. You ain't giving second chances to allow us to grow, so I guess my only choice is to go with the flow and say goodbye, and say goodbye, and say goodbye. So goodbye. I wonder why. I wonder why. I wonder why. I wonder why. I wanna die. I wanna die. I wanna die. I wanna
Wait, can you repeat that, Sam?
So-
I didn't fade you in.
Nonny, what did you think of that song? Because
I
you haven't listened to any of the songs I put on the thing yet, so this is
Wait,
your first time.
Don't call me out like that. I used to be so good. I used to be such a good host, and I would
You
always
just
listen
don't
to the
prepare
songs.
anymore. Just so
So-
busy.
No, I really like that song. I like the ooh.
Yeah, it's very sort of folk punky. It's got the banjo and the sort of guitar that we like. We've covered one of Harley Poe's songs before. It was Transvestites Can Be Cannibals Too, which I really like. But I think that's a more of a famous song, and it's also, I guess, it's about horror movies, and it's about Psycho, like dressing up like his mother and killing people, which is very good. But that's the song we've played, so I didn't want to put that on the thing because we played it. We've really experienced the song, so we've got to introduce a wider variety.
Yeah, definitely. We were also having some good chats about music.
In the break between while the song was playing, we were wasting all our good conversation.
That happens every single time.
We were saying how, like, I think as people that sort of are around music a lot, whether it's just listening to music when going to places or playing music, you kind of get a good sense of knowing time through songs, I suppose, so you can know that this journey will take one album's worth of music, and then if you go too long or if the album finishes, you'll know you're late. But while we're waiting for the song to finish, we know how long it's going to be until we can go back in the room. But you can use that to time anything, really.
Yeah. This is because we left the room so that we could drink beer. And then
You're
timed
calling
it.
yourself out.
But our timing is immaculate.
Yeah.
So do you listen to music like all the time? Is that how you're
I
doing
listen to music when I'm going to places, which sometimes doesn't work out too well, because if someone approaches me on the street and I've got headphones in, I feel like I come across as a bit rude. Like yesterday I was walking down, do you know Ship Street Gardens in town? It's one of those thin lanes. It's got a sex shop in it, and I was walking back from.
Okay, I don't think that defines it.
It's the only shop on the street. But I was walking down that road, and these strangers stopped me outside of the shop, and one of them said, and like gestured to her two friends, which of these outfits would suit them, and gestured to the ones in the window, and I was like, what? And I was just chatting to them, and the three or four of them, and then at the end one of them said, oh, I'm sorry about our friend, she's just too north, she's not used to the southern sort of discomfort around strangers. But I wasn't uncomfortable. I was like, no, it's fine. I just looked scared because I was like, oh no, I have to take my headphones out and talk to someone.
Yeah.
They were perfectly lovely people. But there's just these strangers on the street were pointing at lingerie and saying, which of my two friends would look best in these? But because I was listening to music, I feel like I was thrown into the situation less well prepared than I should have been.
Yeah, I think it makes you less alert when you're listening to music.
But I mean, today the only stuff I've listened to is a couple of Kendrick Lamar albums and half a podcast on Jeffrey Epstein, who so far is shaping up to be a pretty good person. I've not heard the whole thing, but all the music we're hearing on this radio show is very different to what I've been hearing so far today. But it's a nice sort of change of tone,
Juxtaposition.
like when we were going into the bar earlier, and suddenly the incredibly loud music hit us, and it was like we both had to buffer into the situation. Both of us sort of lost track of conversation.
It was crazy.
Just as the booming of the bass came out.
We were like walking into the bar, you were like mid-sentence, and you just stopped talking, and it was perfect because I stopped listening.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
it was like the music just
That was
washed
music
over
used
us.
for evil, not good, which we don't support. It's so loud.
It was extremely loud.
So
yeah.
should I introduce the next song then?
Yeah, go on then.
So this song is Soria Moria by the band Mount Eerie. It's from the album A Crow Looked at Me, which is renowned, I think, in a few circles being quite depressing. It's about the singer's wife of 13 years who'd recently had their baby. She dies of bone cancer, and it's autobiographical. And I think the thing is, I don't see it as kind of a sad story. I see it as like, he's taken Phil Elverum, the singer. He's taken this incredibly sad thing and sort of transformed it into an incredibly powerful art and a positive thing. And I think the way, because I was thinking about this earlier today, the way I sort of read the song, like, is like, grief is love with nowhere to go. But he's sort of put the grief into this and turned it back into love, and he's kind of dedicated it to his dead wife. And I see the song not as I'm sad that he's gone through this, so much as it's amazing that it was sort of there in the first place, and he's sort of created this purely out of love, and it's a very beautiful thing, I think, and it's also very good songwriting and storytelling.
Cool.
So this is Soria Moria by Mount Eerie.
Tower lights across a distance, refuge in the dust. All my life I can remember longing, looking across the water and seeing lights. When I was 5 or 6, we were camping in the islands in July. The tall yellow grass and the rose hips fragrant after sunset, island beyond island, undulating and familiar, not far from home, with my fragrant whittled cedar driftwood dagger in the mildew canvas tent. I saw fireworks many miles away, but didn't hear them, and I felt a longing, a childish melancholy, and then I went to sleep, and the aching was buried, dreaming, aging, reaching for an idea of somewhere other than this place that could fold me in clouded yearning, for nowhere actually reachable. The distance was the point. And then when I was 24, I followed this ache to an Arctic Norwegian cabin where I said, fuck the world, in a finally satisfying way. I stayed through the winter and emerged as an adult holding a letter from you, an invitation. So I flew back and drove back, and when we met in person, it was instant. It didn't matter where we lived as long as we were together, and that was really true for 13 years, and the whole time still slow pulsing red tower lights across a distance, refuge in the dust. In January you were alive still, but chemo had ravaged and transformed your porcelain into some other thing, something jaundiced and fucked. They put you in the hospital in Everett, so I gave the baby away and drove up and down I-5 every night like a satellite, bringing you food that you wanted, returning at night to sleep in our bed, cold. I went back to feel future possibilities on hold while I tore through the dark on the freeway. The old yearning burning in me. I knew exactly where the road bent around, where the trees opened up and I could see way above the horizon, beyond innumerable islands. The towers on top of the mountain lit up slowly, silently beaconing, as if to say, just keep going. There is a place where wind could erase this for you, and the branches could white noise you back awake. So I went back to feel alone there, but cradled you in me. National Gallery in Oslo, there's a painting called Soria, Moria. A kid looks across a deep canyon of fog at a lit up inhuman castle or something. I have not stopped looking across the water from the few difficult spots where you can see that the distance from this haunted house where I live to Soria, Moria is a real traversable space. I'm an arrow now, mid-air. Slow pulsing, red tower lights across a distance, refuge in the dust.
That was Soria Moria.
By Mount Eerie, an artist that you have covered on the radio before with one of your Jesses.
One of the Jesses in our lives.
One of many.
One of many. Yeah, we covered, what was it called? Moon Sequel.
Moon Sequel, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to say that initially, for the set list, I put on the live version of Soria Moria because it, not because it's more intimate, even though that is a good reason, but because it's 7 seconds shorter than the album version. And I thought, okay, we'll save time on air.
Time is money.
We'll save time on air by not playing those seconds. But then I thought, no, I'll waste that time explaining it anyway. And then I thought, no, we'll just do the album version, so I won't waste that time. But now I'm using that time to explain what's happening. But I think it's worth it for the sake of... I don't know if it's irony, I don't know if it's a joke, just what happened.
You just had to put it out there.
Yeah.
Had to...
The universe needed to know.
Yeah,
My shame.
full discretion.
Yeah, full disclosure.
We're honest. We're
Yeah.
honest on this show. Yeah, we could talk about honesty. Like, we could talk about, like, when you write songs, like, are they usually about things that have happened to you?
I guess it varies. I think I'm trying more to write songs a kind of less just sort of journal entries and more like actual, I don't know, themes and symbolism, I suppose. I like things that are, I think, what's that Jeff Buckley song that goes Black Beauty?
Oh yeah.
The one that's about one of his dreams, and I like songs that can kind of express emotion without having to say I feel angry. But at the same time, the first song that I chose for this was the song just with the chorus "I Wanna Die," which I like because it's like there's no bullshit. It's just straightforward. I wanna die, and it's just kind of why did she have to leave me and go fuck someone else? It's just very there's always a time for sort of on the nose stuff, but like the reason I chose the John Grant song later, as we'll see, is because it doesn't take itself seriously, but it's just a bit silly, but it's powerful at the same time. So I do I feel I'm overly honest in my songs in a way, but I don't know if that's something I actually consider to be possible. Like, over honesty implies that there's a correct amount of honesty, but as long as your song's your song, I don't think there's... In one of Johnny Cash's covers, when he covers the song "You Are My Sunshine," there's a little bit of studio chatter at the end, and he says, and the people in charge of the studio say, "Was that it? Was that the end of the song?" And Johnny Cash says, "Well, the song, when the song's over, it's over." And that's how I like how that's it. The song is the song, so it's not too much, it's not too little. If it's the song, it doesn't need to sort of conform to traditional standards of length or beauty. Length and Beauty will be the name of my autobiography, by the way.
Nice. Cool. Well, what's your song that you're gonna play?
So the first song I'm going to play is a song I wrote after seeing The Strokes a few years ago at All Points East. The sound quality wasn't great. It wasn't terrible, but it wasn't great. But that has no bearing on this song. This song is completely unrelated. It doesn't sound like The Strokes. The song is called My Heart is Poison, and the reason I'm playing it tonight is because I've played it with Lucas Judd a couple of times, a fellow musician of ours, listeners. And he's always been very complimentary about the song, and he's always saying, you need to get that down somewhere, you need to record that. And until I have my sessions with Cass, a fellow musician audience, I won't. This is my chance to sort of get it out and record it on a better kind of system. So that's why I'm choosing to play it tonight. It's quite a short song, I think, 2 minutes, but
Okay.
That's how long the song is.
Exactly.
So, should I take it away?
Yeah, go for it.
My heart is poison, I sink on dry land. Reach out to a savior and drag their love down. I seek only kindness, but I'm deaf to the sound. I need only something that cannot be found. I'll close off and bite down on all I hold dear. Each pretension of friendship need bitch to each fear. I can tell that you love me, I mean it, I swear. I promise, believe me, I'll lie through dry tears.
The roll. Well, the listeners didn't see that, but you did a little dramatic kind of roll away from the mic at the end.
Well, you don't. I'm not.
The song is done.
I'm not often on a rolly chair while playing music. When I started playing it, when I was getting ready to play it, I started sitting cross-legged, and I thought I could feel myself swiveling as it happened, and I knew that if I'm playing guitar and I start swiveling away from the mic, I'm just going to be singing into the wall. So I had to change my position into one that wasn't super comfortable. And I was like, I'll roll with it, and I literally rolled with it.
Then you literally did.
Yeah. So that's that song is in open D, I think. Oh no, it is.
Nice.
Yeah. The other song I'm going to do later will be in open D minor.
You're gonna have to tune one string.
Yeah. My F is a little bit too sharp at the moment, so I need to blunten it. It's dangerous. It could get pricked on it. That's a little bit of musician.
There's a little musician joke there. For
Yeah. For the musicians out there. But yeah. I'm. You've recently recorded with Cass too.
Yeah, and Cass has been on the show actually.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Cass did come on the show.
But I'm really looking forward to recording with them. That'd be really fun.
That would be really good. Are you gonna do that on campus? Do you know, like in the recording?
I assumed I'd be doing what you're doing.
Yeah,
so that's why I inquired.
That is the recording studio on campus.
Excellent. Yeah.
Amazing.
I thought, I don't think this is what's happening, but I thought it'd be cool if like eventually got like a collection of all the people in our circle did like 2 songs. I think we maybe vaguely discussed this a while ago.
Yeah.
And we could do like a compilation album of all the sort of community of live musicians, like going from the students to the Stevies.
Yeah.
Which is how we thought about it before, I think.
Oh, It was Karen's to Carly's.
It was Karen's to Carly's. But students to Stevie's is good too.
Both are
Although it is
amazing.
quite insulting to Stevie's. I'm sorry, Stevie, if you're listening to this, or when you're listening to this. I'll dedicate a song for you next time I see you.
Yeah, I guess it is kind of insulting. Stevie, you're the oldest.
You're coming on the show next week, as I'm plugging for
It's
you.
Sam's to Stevie's
Yeah, Sam's to
in a
Stevie.
week.
Yeah. How we've changed.
Yeah, Stevie's going to be on the show next week, so he's been on the show before, so if you're an avid listener...
He can insult me then.
he can
call me young or old or whatever he chooses.
He'll probably call you... What does he always call you? He says... You're...
He calls me... there's something he calls me, but I'm not sure... I know it's late, but I'm
Yeah.
not sure I'm allowed to say the word on air. It begins with C and ends with unt.
Okay, yeah, he calls you rude, some very rude
Yeah,
things.
but affectionately, and I wouldn't change it.
Yeah, it's terms of endearment.
There was a man at a pub a few years ago that I used to go to, and he didn't like me, and he gave me the nickname Splinter because I was like a splinter in his side. But I was like, I love that nickname. That's way cooler than my original name. And I was like, I kind of encouraged it. Like, if someone goes around calling you the mentor from the Ninja Turtles, you don't stop that. You're like, yeah, Splinter Cheeseman, come on. It's the greatest name ever. I'm going to call my children Splinter Cheeseman. Splinter Cheeseman. Should I introduce the next song then?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the next song we're going for is Nicole Dollanganger, Alligator Blood, and I think Nicole is a Canadian artist, and I used to describe her to people as the artist Lana Del Rey wants to be. Then I realised I don't need to pit these 2 people against them, but I will mention it on the radio show.
Pitting
I find
women against each other.
Yeah. Ooh, as a feminist, I don't consider them women. I consider them people. But she's got that sort of southern kind of gothic vibe. But she originally played like really quaint small fingerpick songs, like with just 1 or 2 strings, like bedroom stuff, just by herself, and the whole thing was carried just by her voice. But eventually, Grimes, the person that Elon Musk is famous for marrying, she actually created a record label for Nicole Dollanganger after hearing her first EP, I think Curdled Milk, and then Nicole got together with a full band, and that's why this has got drums and like electric guitar. But I really like how she's sort of gone from like just sort of quiet, finger picky, relying entirely on her voice, to sort of this sort of booming, increasing in intensity sound.
Yeah.
So this is Nicole Dollanganger, Alligator Blood.
Drinking a cup of alligator blood tastes like the heads and feet we see for sale at the local bar. We
That was Alligator Blood
by Nicole Dollanganger. Yeah, I like that song. I think on the post you did for the Instagram, you did the Handsome Family song Far From Any Road, and I quite like.
I didn't want to spoil any of the songs you'd actually added.
Yeah, but you know that we've discussed that song before. From the dusty mesa, but I really like that kind of sound and that sort of tone. I think the band Harley Poe is from like in the middle of the South America too, and I quite like that kind of the vibe that's kind of sweet but also gross. Like I think it's weird. It's hard to define, but like you get a very pretty voice, but at the same time it's singing about sort of very bad things. But it's kind of melodic in a way. I tried to write a song about a madman who lives in East Anglia who would capture children and eat them in his caravan. But it's harder than you think to write like sort of a Southern Gothic song set in the east of England. But I got towards the part where the parents wake up in the morning and they don't know where the children are, but so the parents are screaming at their homes for the children, but the children are screaming in the caravan for the parents, but neither can hear the other, and that's where the song ends because I just don't know where to go. Because I think and one day I might revisit that, but it's sort of cozy nightmare in a way. What I was watching today, I was watching Detectorists, and I thought of you because I know that you like that. You love that sort of music too, because you have very similar music tastes to my dad, and my dad loves that stuff.
No way.
Yeah.
It's not just Gorky's zygotic Minchie.
No. So Nonny and my dad, Ian, share the same birthday, and they're the only two people, aside from my brother, who have ever heard of Gorky's
zygotic monkey
Minsky. Yeah, which is very strange to me because within a week of hearing of them in Christmas, I saw them a second time from Nonny after not hearing of them for 27 years. But it's crazy. But you and my dad share a birthday too, and
Which is coming up.
Yeah, and I've never seen the two of you in the same place at the same time.
Whoa.
It could be a Batman Bruce Willis situation.
It could be. Yeah. Do we have any other similarities?
Oh, I mean, you've got longer hair than him. He's a bald man.
Okay, so that's a difference.
Yeah, if you shaved, you'd be practically identical. If you lovely big beard.
I could be wearing a wig. I could be just your dad in a wig.
You could be. I assumed you were until just. I'm teaching my dad piano at the moment with my brother. It's very nice. It's very heartening. It's very fun.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So
I think Patio Song.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you were saying.
I told you. Yeah.
Patio Song by Gorky's Zygotic Minchie is like the song he's.
Yeah, that was the first one who started learning. My brother taught him. But
Patio Song, by the way, like if you're listening and you haven't heard that song, you should go.
I haven't heard that song. I've heard the first few chords, but I was thinking of putting one of their songs on the list tonight, but I don't want to introduce a song I don't know, and it's your radio show.
I'll play them. I'll definitely
you can dominate if you want.
At some point, because they're like my favourite band at the moment.
Really interesting.
Yeah.
I've been listening to a lot of Beastie Boys and. Today for some reason, Kendrick Lamar. So everything I'm sort of playing and listening to outside of that with sort of my guitar and Detectorists is sort of a very tonal change. Yeah. I'm really enjoying the Beastie Boys for some reason. I've just caught on to them, even though they've been around for a long time and one of them's dead. But they're going to catch on big time, I tell you.
Beastie Boys, I've listened to them a little because...
They've got this one, this song called Sabotage, which is only one chord, but it's very good. I really like it.
Mm-hmm. It's only one chord?
Yeah. Some really good songs are just like one chord, or one riff over and over again. It just kind of builds up. I think All My Friends by LCD Sound System is quite simple too, but it kind of dun 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 dun, but it builds up and it's very good. I think we've written a song with like one or two chords, like Blood Flows South, that had two chords, I think, just G and C and then G7 and C.
Yeah, to be honest, I don't know why I was so surprised, but like I guess I was imagining it like it's one chord that just plays continuously.
Well, you've got the drums and you've got you get Beastie Boys as 3 different people, so you've got plenty to play with.
You've got plenty to be getting on with. And to be honest, Kendrick Lamar, I'm not like I haven't really listened.
I didn't listen to him that much. I kind of he's one of the artists you kind of hear through mitosis, just sort of being around town in shopping centres and sort of student clubs. You hear swimming pools, drank, and you hear the sort of famous ones, and you think, okay, it's a club banger kind of music. But I really like it. It's like really interesting, and like the vocal delivery is incredible, and all the different stuff, and like the way he does it. It's so I really find it interesting. But David Bowie's last album, Black Star, that was influenced by Kendrick Lamar alongside a few other people. But I really like the sort of influences coming from all sorts of areas and that kind of thing. I was a little bit disappointed in myself that I still managed the sort of ratio of people I've chosen. I still had like 4 different sort of white American dudes on it. But before this, I was sort of thinking I want some Mitski, some Nina Simone. But at the same time, this is the sort of track list I felt was right for tonight. These are the songs I wanted to talk about, and I don't want to sort of put them on for the sake of putting them on, even if I don't want to talk about them. But there are songs by like Mitski and Nina Simone that if we'd had a few more songs, I would have been like put them on in a heartbeat. But I think I'm happy with what I've chosen. But at the same time, I do see like only Nicole Dollanganger is sort of the female of the group. John Grant is a queer man, so that's something, I guess. And I think Harley Poe is queer. Like a lot of the songs have sort of themes like that, but it's hard.
But I guess there's a like white.
I'm not gonna reject Soria Moria because of who he is, because the song is the song. That's who wrote it. It's great. I like it.
Yeah, I think, and also like I find that with like the music I listen to, like I do like to listen to things from everywhere.
Yeah.
Like I'm not opposed to trying out any kind of music, but I do have like just this specific kind of folky music that I love.
It's not quite an echo chamber so much as it's sort of self-reinforcing in a way. It's a positive thing, I think.
I think it's...
You're not tearing others down by building up yourself.
Yeah. That's true.
Should I introduce the next song?
Yeah.
So the next song... so only Soria Moria was the depressing song of the group, aside from the one I played before. The rest are sort of more upbeat. This song is still... It's about... the character's sort of depression from the point of view of his cats, which I really like as a storytelling sort of device. And it's just not a sort of... It's not a perspective you get often in songs, and it's actually part of a trilogy. There's Plea from a Cat Named Virtue, which is the one we're playing, and then there's 2 more on another Weakerthans album, and then also on a solo album by John K. Sampson, who's the lead singer. But I find it very interesting, this perspective, and just seeing things from different directions.
Cool. Let's listen to it. This is Plea from a Cat Named Virtue by the Weakerthans.
Why don't you ever wanna play? I'm tired of this piece of string. You sleep as much as I do now, and you don't eat much of anything. I don't know who you're talking to. I made a search through every room, but all I found was dust that moved in shadows of the afternoon. And listen about those bitter songs you sing, they're not helping anything. They won't make you strong. So we should open up the house, invite the tabby 2 doors down. You could ask your sister if she doesn't bring her basset hound. Ask the things you shouldn't miss. Tape hiss in the modern man, the Cold War and card catalogs, to come and join us if they can. For girly drinks and parlor games, we'll pass around the easy lie of absolutely no regrets. And later maybe you could try to let your losses dangle off the sharp edge of a century. Talk about the weather or how the weather used to be. And I'll cater with all the birds that I can kill. Let their tiny feathers fill disappointment
swear I'm gonna bite you hard and taste your tinny blood. If you don't stop the self-defeating lies you've been repeating since the day you brought me home, I know you're strong.
So that was Plea from a cat named Virtute.
Which is Latin for strength. It's not the word virtue, it's the word virtute. Yeah.
Right. And
Yes.
so I guess they actually had a cat called Virtute.
I think the whole thing might be fictional, but I don't know. I know that the third album that mentions Virtute in the trilogy, the solo album, is from, I think, like a hospital or a mental hospital. But I don't know if, again, that it seems one of those things where, similar to Hospice by the Antlers, it's very autobiographical, but you don't know if it's true. Like, Aristotle said that fiction is better than fact because it cuts out the contingent things, like the things that aren't necessary to the story and the important parts of it. So I feel like it doesn't need to be true to be autobiographical. But I feel like I've given a really political answer that hasn't answered your question at all.
Fiction. But I feel so. we were talking about how like your songs are like autobiographical. Your songs are.
Yeah. Well, the song I'm going to play in a bit, soon, that's, I mean, it's not autobiographical. It's just kind of, so the song I'm going to play is called Death Is My Wife, as named by Io Kaludi from Southern Belle. I've only ever said her first name before.
I never knew her last name until now.
It's always been on the brochure, I think.
Okay.
We need to start reading this.
Yeah, damn.
But she named it because I didn't have a name for it. Like, I was at Southern Belle and said, "Has anyone got a name?" And it's the first line of the song.
The Southern Belle, by the way, guys. That's the open mic that me and
it's where
Sam
we met. Yeah, on Halloween a few years ago. And you've now got the pirate hat that I found in that smoking area when I was consoling a clown, a lesbian clown.
Yeah, what a night that was Halloween. Yeah.
She was, I think, 18, and she was, I think, crying in the smoking area or she was just upset in the smoking area because she'd asked out her crush, and the crush had said yes in quite clear terms, but she was like, "What does this mean?" And she was, I kind of befriended her. And there was a pirate hat nearby, so I was wearing the pirate hat. But I was like, it's quite clearly a yes. You've got the yes. You don't need to overanalyze. You don't need to overanalyze it. Now you've got the thing.
Yeah.
Don't worry now that you've accomplished your goals. Don't take failure from your victory just because you're anxious. And then I got a pirate hat.
Yeah.
The universe rewarded me. It was like once I was rabbit sitting for my friend Zoe, who you've met many times, and
never met the rabbits though, unfortunately.
Really? Oh, well, you should need to meet the rabbits. They're great guys.
I
And
do.
I got I got this. I found this wolf hoodie, and you know the wolf hoodie, and I was like, karmic reward.
Isn't that the hoodie you're wearing in the picture I drew for the Instagram post for today?
I got karmically rewarded for rabbit sitting. A lot of my karmic rewards seem to be me finding things, to be fair, which arguably would mean that magpies are like really holy people because they're always finding things.
Yeah.
I want to be reincarnated as a magpie because you get a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or I suppose magpies are kind of servants to other people because they deliver the silver to people. Magpies are, I suppose, the couriers of the bird world. And I don't want to be that. I don't know what the king bird would be if there's a king bird.
Kingfisher?
Yeah, I suppose that, but they're the king of the fishes.
Oh yeah.
That implies that there's a greater bird that's king of everything that isn't fishes, which would imply they have more power than the kingfisher. I'm
the
thinking
kingfisher he works for the
Emperor penguin?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think Emperor penguin. I don't like the climate. I was gonna say I want to be reincarnated as an emperor penguin, but the climate's I don't do well in cold climate.
Oh, okay.
Unless I'm sort of nuzzled between the legs of a mother penguin, I'm not gonna have a good time.
Yeah.
And I don't think people would respect my sort of tenure as emperor penguin if I spend it in between my mother's legs.
So is that why you're fleeing to Australia?
I'm going to Australia in September. I'm going there to. I think I'm gonna continue doing music, but not quite as much like as daily. I want to focus on sort of building up, like sort of a more.
You're gonna
concrete
write when you're there.
I'm definitely gonna write. I'm also gonna. I think I'm gonna try stand up when I'm there. I'm looking forward to that. That'd be fun.
Cool.
Yeah, I want to do that for a while. I think when I started doing music, I was like, oh, I've got a guitar to hide behind, and then I realised, oh no, now I've got to protect this thing that I'm hiding behind. But in a way, there was an element of that was just sort of, I can't do this thing by myself. I want to do something that has got something else that people aren't commenting on me so much as they're commenting on my ability to use this tool. But at the same time, I mean, obviously, I've sort of always been sort of in love with the sort of the Nick Drakes, the Sufjan Stevens, that sort of thing. And I mean, there's nothing I've enjoyed. I mean, I've enjoyed going to open mics every day, but I want to sort of branch out. I don't want to. I feel like, to an extent, I don't want to sort of pigeonhole myself, because I found, and I don't know if you found this, but as people that perform live, the way I sort of write songs these days tends to be what would go down better live. Not as a sort of conscious response to the audience so much as sort of like, well, I know I'm going to enjoy it more if I'm on a stage playing it like this, whereas I might write a really good song that's going to be like sort of beautiful and finger plucked. But I know that if I play it, I know the Druids at midnight, I'm not going to get any response. So I think even if it's sort of subconscious or minute, it does have an impact, the way you play and who you play. It was like when we were talking to the previous hosts before we came in, and they were saying who are your influences. Yeah, and they were saying who's your influences, and I said this is going to come across as really pretentious, but I feel like all the music you kind of listen to and everything like that, just the way you live your life, that kind of has an impact.
Yeah.
And that impacts how you play your music and the music you write. But I think I want to sort of expand that. I've ordered a keyboard from Argos, so I'm picking that up when they finally deliver it. But I'm looking forward to that, because I love playing piano when I was at home. I don't get enough chances to do that when I'm in Brighton.
Yeah.
Pianos are lovely.
Yeah.
They're so just beautiful.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
Really
Wait, so I've never seen you play piano. Do you play piano?
I used to know sort of one or two chords, but I've always been very sort of not so much self-conscious, but self-doubting in my ability to play it. So I've never sort of tried it. And I could play Knockaloola by Waxahachie, but I could play it quite too quickly. And I think I can play it better, but the more I've sort of played for the sake of playing rather than I want to learn this song, the more I've kind of realised, well, I can play this. Just because I can't play this one song immediately doesn't mean I can't play it. But because I've now the piano at my nan's old house, he got moved to my parents' house, because I've now got one sort of available to me, I can play it, and I think a lot of pressure I kind of feel is self-applied, but when you get to the point of just sort of playing guitar or playing piano and like, oh, that sounds great, that's the sort of ideal. And I think I've kind of, because I've not been thinking about piano and like, is this a good enough song or is this good enough, I've got to the point where I'm like, that was a lovely bit of piano I did. And it wasn't like, okay, I've now challenged Bohemian Rhapsody for the greatest song ever. Not that I think that is the greatest song ever, but I'm sure some people do. But it's just nice. And I think that's sort of a point I want to get to with all creative endeavours, but at the same time, while I don't intend on sort of monetizing this, there is a sort of real world application of like, I might love this, but I might love this incredible distortion track, but I can't play it at an open mic. Like when you and Patch had the Korg synthesizers and all the electronic things at that night, I used the Korg synth and I had a great time because I made it sound like people like banshees screaming and hissing. And I think Phil came out from the toilets and was like, I could hear that from there. And I was like, I love that, but I can see maybe it's not public music.
Phil. Yeah. Phil.
George's boyfriend.
Thong Phil.
Yeah. With the glasses and the hat.
Nice.
Yeah. Should I play my second song now?
Yeah.
Okay. This is my newest song, and therefore my least practiced and prepared. Also, I only practiced it twice today instead of 3 times because I was late to leave the house for this.
Cool.
But okay, here we go.
Wait, how new is it?
I'd say last Wednesday, last Thursday. I played it at the
last
Southern.
week.
I played it last.
I haven't heard it yet, though.
No, you haven't played it yet.
Yeah.
Okay. My wife and I his princess. Wait, hold on. Death is my wife and I his mistress. We ain't ever needed no one's forgiveness. I am who I am and I love my man. He's the only one who understands. I'm in love with you, singing to the ceiling that I know this feeling true. There ain't no pride in moderation, so I'll scream it through the roof. That every day you're missing is another near you. Trapped up in a tower, just waiting for his witness, letting down my hair, tying up my shoes, waiting for the day that I see you. At the bottom of a bottle of bourbon, I'm in love with you, singing to the ceiling that I know this feeling true. And there ain't no pride in moderation, so I scream it through the roof. That every day you're missing is another near you.
Does it have a name, that song?
That was Death Is My Wife, as EO named, remember?
Wait, what?
Death Is My Wife.
Wait, what do you mean EO name? Sorry.
EO named the song at the Southern Bell.
Oh, okay.
That's what I was saying earlier. I played at the Southern Bell,
yeah.
and I said to the audience that song doesn't have a name, and EO called out.
And EO.
Yeah. I got one word wrong, I think.
Okay.
I said wife instead of bride for the last verse, but I'm okay with that. I played through.
Yeah, well done.
Yeah.
No, that was great.
I wanted to do sort of the newest thing I've done, and also just something. My Heart Is Poison was for the wanting to record it reasons.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was good. I enjoyed that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you gonna record that one as well when you
I think
record it?
I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna play it through a few more times, maybe open mics, because I think in a way, the song is still kind of taking shape. That was sort of a proto song, and like I know the chords and I know the verses, I know how it plays, but the tempo could change a bit. I'm not saying it's bad now, but I'm saying the more I play it, the more I might get used to how it feels, because the song is itself its own thing, and I think the more you get used to playing something, the more you can play in a way that is comfortable and familiar. So at the moment, it's sort of like I'm playing it the way it is because that's how it is now. But the more I play, the more I sort of fall into, oh wait, if I play that bit a bit slower, it will come across well. Because I think for some of it, the audience might want to know I'm touching the guitar on the highest string that I sort of slide down, but at the moment I'm just sort of moving my finger, whereas the longer I play, I'll be able to do the slide more, and it'll be just small differences like that. But to answer your question, yes, that's the finished product.
Yeah, and you're gonna.
Yeah, I'm gonna sort of. I mean, by the time I see Cass, I don't know how far along it will be, but I don't really have a process with my songs. I just sort of let them happen. Yeah, there's a messiness to them, but that's not a bad thing or a good thing. Again.
No, exactly.
Louis B has always been very complimentary of the rawness of my music when he remembers that we've met.
Yeah, I really like it. Like, I really like
Thank you.
that
Yeah.
in music. Like,
I thought you were
it's my
complimenting me.
personal. No, I really like that in your songs.
Thank you. Yeah.
And like, yeah, I just in general, I'm a big enjoyer of like messiness.
Yeah. Well, that's sort of there's a level of sort of authenticity to music that's like, oh, you're not saying your true emotions, it's not authentic. But authenticity doesn't mean just sort of play by play, word by word, redoing the situation.
Yeah.
Authenticity, like I suppose to an extent, just writing down if you said, I went to the park today, that's in a way less real and sort of reflective of the situation than the sky was blue today, I saw the sun, because that reveals more or less the same situation. You left the house, but lets you know, oh, you were happy, you were looking up, and not only that, but you've got the sort of secondary information of it was also a nice day, so presumably you can contextualize the rest of the world from that. But in a way, it's
and you can contextualize the emotion.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But that's why I like the Weakerthans song, because I mean I'm sure that if there was a cat, which I mean I don't know there was a cat called Virtute in the first place, but it's very unlikely that the cat was having these very articulate thoughts.
Yeah.
But that's such an authentic way to portray the artist's depression or whatever. Yeah. Like it reveals sort of aspects to it that you wouldn't get from any other perspective. I mean, anthropomorphizing a cat is great because cats, can I cater with all the birds that I bring? That's the song we mentioned in between the break because you asked me to repeat it. But that shows sort of such a innocent, I'll give you these dead birds. It shows a sort of perspective from an animal that doesn't get it but is trying to help, and it's sort of a pureness that you wouldn't get from Sad Man Had Cat, which is how it reads like an obituary, but it's, I suppose, more honest in a way. But honesty isn't just fact, I suppose.
Yeah. Let's play the final song. Yeah.
Will we be ending the show after this? Oh yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So on that note, the final song I've chosen Sigourney Weaver by John Grant, and I like this because it's a bit silly. It's like, and that other guy, and he's kind of referencing songs not by their name, and it's like irony and stuff like that, and he's just really. John Grant is great because he doesn't take himself seriously. He's got a song called Greatest Motherfucker, GMF. But I just like it that I love that. It's something I aspire to do, just sort of light-hearted songs that are still good.
Cool. Thanks for coming on, Sam.
That's okay. Thank you for having me.
It's flown by.
Yeah, it goes
I'm
so
sure
quickly.
you'll come
I was surprised
back.
to check my phone just then.
I know, it was
yeah,
crazy.
I'd love to come back again.
Happy 11 p.m, folks.
Happy 11 p.m.
See
and
you
good
next
night.
week. Good night.
I woke up today, the air was very strange. I couldn't feel my skin and there was evil in my bones. I tried to speak but found that I didn't have a voice. It was a prison like the one you would find in the Twilight Zone. And I feel just like Sigourney Weaver. miles west, to where the ground was dead and struck out at the giant sky. The sky was black and filled with tiny silver holes, and it was there with a frightened voice that I began to cry out loud. I feel just like Winona Ryder in that movie about vampires, and she couldn't get that accent right, and neither could that other guy. And I feel just like I am on Jupiter, the one that looks like rainbow sherbet, but it doesn't lend itself to life, and I haven't finished yet.